Shalom and an early Shabbat Shalom to everyone out there, and welcome back to the Barbecue Network. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there. And this is a great Torah portion for this last week. Looking forward to the next ones. This was by Achamer. Very good Torah portion going over the importance of observing the Sabbath and everything like that. Whether or not you can observe the Sabbath fully, which is not working from Friday into Saturday, or not. Go ahead and always try to do it in a state of mind sort of way. So with that being said, very excited to have all the new subscribers joining us for the Barbecue Network. When I have a little bit more time, I'm going to be putting some ranking of various films, be it the Nicolas Cage movies, be it my favorite thrillers, my favorite mystery or horror films as well. And hope everyone's enjoying their day out there. I figured I would review or go over my recommendation for Mosquito Coast, which is a Warner Brothers movie directed by Peter Weir and produced by Saul Zaentz, who made Amadeus, English Patient, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, among many other films. It was a movie with Harrison Ford that I feel, if it had Gene Hackman in it, maybe could have been a Gene Hackman award-winning, Oscar-winning performance. However, it was Harrison Ford that was put in it, and it was the first time that Harrison Ford was doing any kind of role that was so much of a stretch for him. And I don't think he's ever gone back to doing anything that's so much of a stretch for him. He was almost wearing a costume and dress up for the movie because he was playing an inventor who really didn't fit in with the common American, ethos and all the mottos of the lifestyle of the 70s and 80s. And it was actually written by someone named Paul Theroux, who is the uncle actor Justin Theroux. And Paul Theroux, based it on some biographical things from him, and he actually went to go start some, do some progressive type works in Africa and all sorts of remote places in the world. So this character that Harrison Ford plays in Mosquito Coast is an inventor who's had it up to here with all the different stuff in America, so he just pulls up stakes. And he's very much of a cult leader among his family. His wife, Helen Mirren, very much non-personality type character. I'd love to read the book and see exactly what her issues were, why she listened to her husband so much to her family's detriment. But they pull up stakes and they go to a place called Muscatina. I guess if it's a real island. I've never heard of it. Apologize to any Muscatinans out there. It's up Mosquito Coast. And then once there, he befriends, or he's missionaries and all sorts of people try to befriend him and turn him against what his mission is. And you think that he's doing the right thing at a certain point, and then about halfway into the movie, actually I never thought he was doing the right thing, but you could see his point. About halfway into the movie, you realize he's actually not necessarily the villain of the piece, but basically doing some things that are not going to be of benefit to him, his family, or the society that he's trying to benefit. So he basically purchases a small little area called Geronimo and kind of pimps it out, gets all sorts of ice machines going there and everything like that. The reason I'm bringing this up, I viewed the movie on my channel. I highly recommend it. I've been thinking about it quite a lot as I run into different things in society, certain aspects of it that are easy to relate to and certain that are not. And I feel that the critics strongly misunderstood the movie, and had it not been Harrison Ford in the movie, they'd be calling it one of the best movies of all time. But instead, they were always saying how much he didn't fit with the personality or the character and all that. And it's definitely affected him as an actor and as a man. He never really has related to the media the same after the movie came and went. River Phoenix does good in it, but there are some flaws with it. I wish it wasn't narrated by his character. It kind of takes away from the dramatic tension in the film. And then also just a real standout performance who was completely snubbed for a supporting actor nomination that year. Conrad Roberts, and he's still living, if you can believe it. He looks quite elderly in this film. It actually has another woman in it, Butterfly McQueen, who was a very famous atheist, and she was playing a believer that's turned against her beliefs in Mosquito Coast, and she actually was in Gone with the Wind as well. So the movie's got a lot of history to it. That being said, we're going to go on. We may have to make a couple videos here, I'm not sure, but let's see. The next thing I wanted to talk about was a movie called They Drive by Night. Now, They Drive by Night I've seen a lot in years past. It stars Humphrey Bogart and George Raft and Ida Lupino. And it was the first time I'd seen the movie since I worked as a truck driver before. These are about long haul truck drivers or truck drivers are trying to run their own business. So it's talking about in their era how difficult things were and everything like that. So it becomes quite an odd movie at a certain point, where these guys are just basically sacrificing their families and parts of their life, and you see people get in a fiery car truck rack because they're not sleeping in order to make these times to deliver stuff, and you got mafia involvement, loan shark involvement. Ida Lupino is what you think is a pretty well-adjusted woman, and then you learn more things about her character as it goes on. They meet her at a diner and then give her a ride. She's got all sorts of great one-liners and quick asides and things like that in it. But to me, I don't think the movie really comes together too much. It's like Men in a way, as one of the brothers is Humphrey Bogart's kind of playing a Lenny type character to this, and the other guy's more like the Gary Sinise brother in Of Mice and Men. So I'd recommend They Drive by Night, but it is quite a slog, I would say, and also it makes its points, and then it makes its points, and then similar to the next movie I'm going to talk about, which is Three Faces of Eve. I'm going to do so in the next video.